First of all, I'm a parent, and not a great parent, but then we fostered a family of 3 children. I just realised that I was lacking in basic skills. I just didn't know where I was. That's one side of it. The other side, I was working for a publisher who, it was a family division of a publishing, and they sent me to Denver to do a master's degree in family studies. So I discovered in the States that they had all these parenting programs. They were maybe 15 years ahead of anything that was happening in the UK and Ireland. And I tried out some of the parenting programs, and the skills that I was learning really helped me. So that's how I got into parenting. Well, I actually started life as a language teacher, and I discovered that I had pretty good communication skills and a talent for designing programs for teaching Spanish. So once I discovered parenting programs, then I knew that I could translate this. I could design a program that would help people to learn parenting skills, but without the difficult jargon or the academic language. So I spoke to my boss, Oliver Crilly, about my vision, and he was very encouraging and gave me a loan of £7,000. At the time, this was so new. Parenting was a new word. Parenting programs had never been heard about, and so it was really all pushing uphill for the first few years. I had plenty of sleepless nights, and after a few years it began to become accepted, and we never looked back after that. There are a lot of important values like the development, community development, which is behind it all in many ways. But I'd like to highlight 3 values. The first is the importance of adult education, that people learn differently. So to be a decent program, we need to make sure that there are many different kinds of ways of learning. So you've got a little bit of, watching a video, but you also have group work, you have personal sharing, case studies, skill practice, a little bit of reflection, and in that way there's variety, and it allows for the different ways in which people learn. That would be one of the values underlying Family Caring Trust. The second one, a very big value, would be respect for parents. We wouldn't be using the medical model. It's not, I'm telling you how you need to bring up your children. Not at all. Because when you think about it, your children are different. You're different. Your circumstances are different. So there's obviously no one way to bring up children. What we want to do is offer, here are some ideas, here are some skills. Maybe you go home and try out these with your children and see what works for you. So it's really respect for the parents. That'd be the second value. The third value that I'd like to highlight would be the importance of a good research base. There is a good research base behind a lot of the psychological systems, and we have used them. We've used Adlerian psychology, Rogerian, family systems, reality therapy, put them together into a program and then tested it out in different kinds of communities throughout these islands. with different communities, and in the light of the feedback we got, then we'd make modifications to the programme, and by the end of 2 years, when we published a programme, I know this works because it has been tested. So those would be the three values I'd like to highlight. It was completely new in Britain at the time. And with new things, it's usually the voluntary organisations and the churches, people who are on the cutting edge, who have always picked these things up first. And the state only comes along kind of afterwards, once Barnardos or whoever have proven that this is a good way of doing things. And that's exactly what happened. All the mainstream churches gave us great support and took on the challenge of parenting programmes. Also Barnardos, the Children's Society, Home Start, the voluntary organisations. After a number of years, then the state came in, and like the psychological services in Scotland became big customers and began to use the programmes a lot. And health visitors all over. There was an article in The Guardian in which, if I just maybe read you what Sharon Maxwell Magnus said. She interviewed the chief professional officer of the Health Visitors Association for England, Wales and Northern Ireland. And she says, she asked, what book would you recommend for parents? By Penelope Leach, Sheila Kitzinger, Dr. Spock, Chris Green. Who would you recommend? None, the officer replied. They all make parents feel guilty. But if you were to ask me who was doing the most effective work in helping parents, it would have to be Michael Quinn, the Director of Family Caring Trust. So, well, health visitors increasingly became our main clients, and their enthusiasm, well, it has been very, very encouraging. Maybe I just read you one quote from a parent who wrote to me. Thank you for releasing me from the prison of rearing my children with no tools and poor skills. And we have had hundreds and hundreds of testimonies coming from parents and from people running the parenting programs about how the programs have empowered parents, the hope that it has given them, the respect they felt, and the solidarity with other parents. These have been constant messages coming through in the feedback. There are also professional evaluations, which you can read about on the website, I think it's significant that we have reached over 500,000 parents in Britain alone, and that the books have been translated into 17 different languages. So it has been a privilege for me just to be part of it, and it's been so encouraging to see that kind of response.